Hey, this is Chris from Airguns of Arizona, and I'm here to teach you about the basics of filling up a PCP. So let's say you just bought your new PCP rifle, you bought a carbon fiber 4,500 PSI tank, and you get it to your house. What's next? So the first thing is you're gonna need to get at least 3,600, but preferably 4,500 PSI in your tank. Most paintball shops will fill to 4,500 PSI. Some dive shops, scuba shops might as well. But typically, scuba and dive shops only go to 3,000 PSI, which in turn is a little bit of an issue, because if this can go all the way up to 3,650 PSI, that means your 3,000 pounds per square inch in this tank will never get high enough to fill this up completely. You'll only get to go around 200 bar. So it's crucial to find a source that'll go to 4,500 PSI, or get a compressor that can fill your tank up to 4,500 PSI. If you only have scuba, that's fine. You know, it's not that big of a deal, but you're just gonna get a little bit less shots per fill because you're never gonna fill this gun up completely. Some tanks are gonna have two gauges like this one does. This gauge right here will tell you what's going out. So while you're filling your gun, this is going to be rising, and you can use this if you have an older gun and it doesn't have a gauge like this one or some of the other ones do. You can go off of this one to get your fill pressure for what your bottle now has. This one also has a second gauge where I can see how much is in there at all times. It's called an HP3 valve. This one right now currently has 4,200 PSI in this tank, so I know I'm good to go. So when you're talking about tank pressure, you're probably gonna hear a couple of different terms. You'll hear bar, which is barometric pressure, or PSI, which is pounds per square inch. Those two on gauges usually will both be there, but on your gun, it may just have one or the other. So it's good to know what PSI is 200 bar. So if it's on your gauge, you'll see that 200 bar is around 3,000 PSI. Now, if you're going up to 250 bar, but you want to do it in PSI, it's around 3,650. So 3,650 PSI equals 250 bar. So when you're looking at your tank, it'll have the 3,000 PSI on one and the bar on the other. So just be cognizant of what you're wanting it to fill to. If you want to go to 250 bar, go to that mark, that'll be around 3,650 PSI. But just know what your gauge says, look in the manual where your gun would like to be, and then fill it to that. Don't go over max pressure. On some guns, there'll be two gauges. One, which is gonna be your tank pressure, and there's gonna be your regulator gauge. It's an important distinction to know you need to watch the bottle pressure and not the reg pressure when you're filling your gun. If you're looking at this and you're filling this, you can easily overfill it. That's not what we want to do. So make sure you know which gauge is your bottle pressure gauge and your regulator gauge. It will look different on every gun, so make sure to read your manual, learn which one is the bottle pressure and which one is the regulator gauge. So right now, this tank has 4,200 PSI in it, which is great because that means we're going to get ample fills on this tank. So what I'm going to do is, this is called a female quick connect right here. So you kind of pull it back. This is a male quick connect right here. So I'm going to pull that back, attach it here, let go. Make sure to test this because it's important that you have it on nice and sturdy. Now, you can do this one of two ways, like I said. You can watch this gauge right here, and this is going to be going up that I'm going to go to 250 with. Or you can watch this gauge right here, which will go to 250 as well. These will go simultaneously and they'll be the same. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure my bleed valve is shut. Some bleed valves are the push button. If that's the case, you don't have to worry about making sure it's shut. It will already be shut. This one is a turn one. So I'm turning it, make sure it's nice and tight. And then this is our main. So I'm gonna turn this nice and slow. You don't wanna go too fast. Go nice and slow. So I'm gonna be watching this gauge right here, and I'm gonna go to 250 bar, and I'm gonna shut it off. So I'll open it up, nice and slow. So going up to 200, 210, 220, slow it down. And it looks like I'm about 250 bar right here. So I'm gonna close this. This line still has pressure in it. So we're gonna have to use this bleed valve, whether it's a push bleed valve or a twist one like the one I have. We have to do it before we take it off because there's a lot of air in here, a lot of pressure. So I'm gonna rotate this, Now this line is clear of air and it's safe to take off. So I'm just gonna pull it back, undo it, and we're good to go. This should be at 250 bar. That's what I was reading here. So now we're ready to go shoot the gun. A common question I'm asked is, what happens if I overfill my gun? It's going to happen. It happens to me. It's going to happen to you. So what do we do in that? If you do overfill your gun, don't worry. It's not going to blow off or anything like that. There is safety measures built into these valves. So we want to close it as fast as possible. We do not want to go over the allotted, right on this one, 250 bar. We don't want to go 260, 270. So if we do, the best way to do it is just kind of shoot the air down a little bit with nothing in, no pellets in there. So just try not to do it, but if you do go over a little bit, it's not the end of the world. Just shoot them out with no pellets in there, and then continue to shoot when you're at the proper PSI or bar. Thank you for joining me for this video on how to properly fill up a PCP with a carbon fiber tank. I want to hear from you guys on other questions that you have. What else do you want me to demonstrate? I field questions all day on the phone. People ask me things and I try to do my best to answer them over the phone, but a lot of the times it's better to see it in person. So let me know what you have questions about. We'll be doing some other series on mounting scopes and some other things that are just basic Airgun 101 that you may not know that I can make easier for you. So please, in the comments below, write what you'd like me to do. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll continue to make these for you guys. Thank you for watching this video, and we'll see you next time.